One of the subscribers to my channel recently put a comment on one of my videos, and he said he's leaving the Philippines because he can't stand the poverty. And I thought, interesting, because not everybody is like me or you, and some people, they just can't handle it. You know, in this video I'm going to talk about things that you can expect when you get to the Philippines. Things that you might be, not aware of. Simple things like, as I said at the beginning there, poverty in the Philippines. Now, I've seen poverty in Nigeria when I first went to Africa back in 2005, and that was an eye-opener. But if you haven't really lived with poverty before, or if you haven't seen it with your own eyes, the first time you see it can be a bit of a shock. Now, I grew up working class, and I've worked all my life. I'm not going to say it wasn't a shock, because it was the first time I seen poverty in Africa, but I remember the first time I went to Manila. I think that would have been back in 2012, and I was a bit shocked because there was whole families living on the street. I was going down Rojas Boulevard, and I remember in the central area there was like families with young kids running around with nothing on, and basically living in cardboard boxes. And I thought to myself, this is a crying shame, you know. And it's kind of a shock to the system. But that's in Manila. But even when you go to the province, you will see poverty as well. And if you have a girlfriend, Filipina girlfriend, and you haven't been to the Philippines, she might be a wee bit apprehensive taking you there for the first time. I think my wife was a wee bit apprehensive. She didn't know how I would react to it. But at that time, she probably didn't realise that, you know, I grew up not rich. You know, in the UK, you have a three-tier class system, unwritten class system. So you have working class, middle class, and what I would call high class. And my parents were working class. We grew up in a council house, and it was in like a terrace, you know, a row of houses. And at the back of the houses, it was fields. So I learned from an early age that any food that went on the table, you had to eat it. You know, you didn't get a choice back in those days. So I grew up appreciating money, appreciating anything that I have. So I had that background, and you guys might be the same. You might be the same as me. You can appreciate it. So it might not be as much of a shock when you go to the Philippines for the first time. But anyway, my wife's parents, they have a farm, and you know, it is different. It's not real poverty as such, but you know, it's something that I'm not used to, if that makes sense. But when I got there, I was fine. You know, I sat with all our family and cousins and uncles, and we sat and had a good time, even though they couldn't speak a lot of English. But if you go there for your first time, you might get a wee bit of a shock. So other things, there are other things. It's not just the poverty that you'll probably witness for the first time. There are other issues, you know. But what I would say is, you don't need to take a big wad of dollars with you, or pounds, or whatever currency. You know, you don't need to think, I need to take all this cash. I use an e-banking system called Revolut, and there's other ones out there. Another one's called Wise. And what you can do is you can basically transfer any currency from your bank account onto your card. And when you go to the Philippines, you can use that card just like a MasterCard or Visa card. And the other thing is, when you withdraw money, there's no fees. Well, on the Revolut card that I have, I don't get charged if I go to an ATM, but the ATM, the bank charges me I think it's 250 pesos. So it's not ideal. But when you first go to the Philippines, you won't be able to open a bank account. You need to be resident there first. So when you first go, there'll be some teething troubles that you have to overcome. If I was you and I was going for the first time, what I would do is I'd take some cash with me. Make sure you can use your ATM card, or if you've got an e-bank account like Revolut or Wise, make sure you've got money on it and you can transfer money onto it, okay, so that you can use it. Now, obviously, if you're going to the Philippines for the first time, everything will be new, everything will be different. But there's not a lot to get used to apart from maybe the transport system. If you go to the province, you'll have jeepneys and tricycles. If you're in a big city, you'll be able to get grab car or a grab taxi. Just install the app. That's what I did when I was in Manila. I just installed the Grab app, and I was used to using it because we used it in Malaysia before. So the Grab app allows you to book a taxi, and it's cheaper than using the street taxis. Not by much, I must admit, but it's much more convenient to be able to use that on your phone, you know, when you want to book a taxi. And eventually you'll get into a system where it's easy to use. I think for me, the biggest thing was getting used to the exchange rate, you know, because you need to, you're always thinking in your home currency. That's, even now, I'm like that. I still think in pounds, British pounds. So if you're American, you'll still be thinking in US dollars. So when you get a price for something in pesos, and you know, you'll start to do the math, so to speak. But eventually, you'll get used to it, and that will become like second nature to you. When you see something in pesos, you'll be able to straight away go, that's X amount of pounds or dollars. The one big thing I would say is you will be frustrated the first time you go there. I know I was. You know, even like you go to a supermarket, and if you're buying groceries and you want to use your credit card, especially in the province, right? If you want to use your credit card, they might even ask you for ID, and then you give the card and you think, well, that's it, done. No, it's not. Then they get your card and they start recording all the details on your card. There's a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy. And at first I found it really frustrating. But now, you know, it's okay for me now. I've become more tolerant. You just have to adapt. And listen, it takes time. You can't be expected to go there and just straight away hit the ground running. You've got to adapt to things. The biggest advice I could give you if you haven't been to the Philippines and you're going for the first time would be patient, because things take longer. Not everything, but a lot of things take longer than what you're used to in your home country. So just be patient, and eventually things will become easier. That's what I found. And if you've got your Filipina girlfriend with you, then it's a whole lot easier, because she knows the systems, she knows exactly what's going on, where to go, how to get around any problems. But just some food for thought. So thanks to all you guys who've subscribed to the channel. You know, it's appreciated, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.